Caroline Poynton is recording Dan Woods today because this is a pretty cool one. The slippery star is slipping everywhere. Caroline Poynton from Bury, Manchester. Cause slippery star is getting slippier by the bloody minute.
This is outspoken as the UK is on the brink of a civil war.
Not surprised.
That is the shock warning
Don't
today
surprise me.
from Donald Trump's most loyal and long-time political ally, Steve Bannon, as Tucker Carlson says the whole point of Slippery Starmer's Labour government is to degrade and humiliate the white population of England.
Yeah, what for?
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon.
I think England is heading towards
the
a civil war.
Yet we're meant to trust this anti-white racist and hard-left Islamist extremist Shabba Mahmood to protect our borders?
Digital ID test. I test.
Most of the time.
Shut up,
that
silly woman.
will be the EDL, and they are white.
Do you know? Right, she says all that. Who the fuck does she think she is? Shame on her. She says all the things about Pakistanis, being a Pakistani and their religion, this, that and the other. Well, when that little girl was being killed by her father, a little Pakistani girl, I'm an English lady. And I think I've spoken about that more than she's ever fucking spoken about it. Who the fuck does she think she is? If she cared about her Pakistani children, or anybody else apart from her bastard self, right, then that little girl could still be here today. And she wouldn't have been battered by her dad. But she wasn't that good of a Pakistan lady in a religion or anything like that, was she? Because you let that little girl down, love. Well, you did. You've let that little Asian girl, that little Pakistani girl down. Fuck do you think she is? Because if someone like me had her type of position, the power that she has and had before any of this, that little Asian girl, that little Pakistani girl would still be here today, playing in sandpit or, playing with my little girl. And I would have them both together as sisters. A little English girl with a little Pakistani girl, and I would never treat them any different. They would be treated exactly the same by me. Shame on her. She left a little Pakistani girl to die. And she thinks she's someone. Shame on you.
Oh, I know that the British public expects us to bring order and control back to our immigration system. And as Home Secretary, I will do whatever it takes.
No, you haven't.
So I'll reveal why the chilling warning from the US will be ignored as the Labour left seizes control of our socialist government in my digest next. Then my superstar panel are here. Father Calvin Robinson and Restore Britain campaigns director Charlie Downs. Also coming up on the show today, a Talk TV host is ambushed live on air over the station's ban of Ben Habib as the war of words between the...
But if she was that bothered about the Muslim community and the Muslim people and anything else, yeah. Okay, that little girl, it might not be her fault. I didn't say it was her fault. Did I say she killed her? I didn't say that. Thank you. I said, if she was that bothered, she would have done something about something. And don't tell me she didn't fucking know about it, because she did. And then, if she's that bothered about the Muslim community and the Muslim people and all of this bullshit, what she's going on about, well, she can't be that ass when she can't get the bins done in Birmingham. And mostly where it's not being done, some of it, it's not all just English people, where the bins ain't being collected. Does she want to go and have a fucking good look for herself? Because part of where the bins haven't been collected is in the Muslim area. So she really cared about that much about the Muslim people and the Muslim community and the Muslim religion and all of that bullshit she's going on about. How about she start doing a fucking job? For the Muslim people. I'm not saying to do it for the English people. I never said that. Either. I'm not racist. I don't care who she is, where she's from. She ain't doing a fucking job. And she can get out like the rest of them. She ain't done a job before. She ain't going to do it now.
UK leader and the channel's host Julia Hartley-Brewer and Alex Phillips grows. Peter Mandelson's sick defence over his close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein hinges on the fact he's gay. Well, I think that's disgusting, and I'm going to have a lot to say about it. And the crooked MSM tried to force Tom Skinner off Strictly Come Dancing simply for being right-wing, as the British Fashion Corporation is mired in a host of new scandals. Then, in the uncancelled after show on Substack, Prince Harry's £1.1 million charity donation is not what it seems.
When they're doing all this
We'll
stuff
reveal the
they're
truth
doing.
about his flop Nottingham visit, which was designed to go head-to-head with Prince William, as Meghan Markle finally attempts to back her husband. Or is she really? All the royal latest with YouTube sensation Dinah. Of course, we'll also be revealing our greatest Britain and Union jackass by the end of the show. You get to choose the worst Britain in the world today. The nominations are
you know why
live
they're doing that? Because
in
they
the
just
live
go off
chat
what they want to
on
go off, yeah.
YouTube. Here they are though, Peter Mandelson, nominated by Sarah
Well, it
Booth,
suits them.
who says
fucking
Lord Mandel
cats, then,
Slime
never.
for slithering his way into another big scandal. Not content with resigning twice from government, he was given the US ambassador role and is squirming under his deep links with Epstein. Is he going for the hat trick? Jeremy Corbyn, nominated by It's Only Me 44 for standing on the picket line with the Troop drivers, and Emily Thornbury, nominated by Darren
Do you know what?
Donaldson,
Even though
who
guys
describes
I
her
just
as
think he's
the
hilarious, Jeremy
Baroness
Corbyn.
Bunter,
Yeah,
for
the kids
announcing
are
her
fucking
interest or obsession to be the new deputy leader of Labour and not allowing
And I quite like
comments
him in the fact that he's
open
doing Keir
and
Starmer.
brutal.
Do Keir
All the glory
Starmer
and
in me.
kudos and expenses, but might actually have to be close to real working class folk, and we know she doesn't like that because
Which I
Emily
quite like that
Thornbury
bit.
is just completely allergic to our English flag. So, 3 great
I don't
choices.
like
Get
it.
voting. Let me know your comments throughout the show. I'll read them before we go today, so
Jeremy
do
Corbyn
stick
is one
with us.
thing.
But now, let's go.
But she's another. Yeah.
The UK now has an anti-white racist and hard-left
Bloody
Islamist
hell.
extremist in Shabnam Mahmood as Home Secretary.
She's no one.
The hard
She's a horrible
left
person.
is seizing control of Slippery
You
Starmer's
horrible
government
boot.
with a plot to introduce digital ID and make so-called
Care what you think you are,
Islamophobia
what you
illegal.
think you're not, love.
Yet our corrupt regime media
You're horrible.
are trying to pretend it's business as usual. Even as Steve Bannon warns of a new
And I was gonna
English
give her a
civil
chance,
war being
but
unavoidable, and Tucker
thought
Carlson
about it.
brings to the world's attention the plot to
for Outspoken, was going to give her a chance. But I thought about it. I thought, actually, no, I'm not. She going on about Muslim communities that the other day. And I won't forget that day that I watched that thing about this little girl. Oh, it haunts me. I didn't even know what it was at first. All I watched was the judge speaking about it, and it haunts me about that little girl. I can just not figure this out on how on earth no social services, no teachers, no one went round to that little girl's house, to her parents, not her, none of them. And she's a Muslim, so she should be able to go round. You know, you would think that her being high up as she is, as a Muslim, you think that, you know, she should be allowed and able to take somebody else with her, supposedly. I'm not saying on her own, because it could be still dangerous or whatever. I'm not advocating anybody to get hurt or anything, but I'm saying she is a Muslim person, and that little girl, it was a Pakistani little girl, a Muslim little girl, English Muslim little girl. And that little English Muslim little girl really needed somebody like her help. You know, and she was left to die on her own after being tortured. And she sits there and thinks she's a great Muslim. Ah, well, go fuck you, woman. Shame on her.
Degrade and humiliate the white population of the United Kingdom.
I'll humiliate
But it
her
really
with that.
does leave me thinking, why are
Shame on her.
Americans having the conversations about the destruction of Britain that our MSM are too gutless and weak to have? Well, not in the independent space, not here in
just saying shame on her,
which is
shame
why
on
Tommy
all
Robinson's
the
United
establishment
Kingdom
for
rally
it.
on Saturday is going to be such
But
a dramatic
her
uprising,
mainly because she
as the leader of the
she's
cultural
the
movement
leader of
says
she was the
Peter
leader of all
Lynch
sorts of
was
things.
murdered behind bars.
Look at Keir Starmer. Look at what they're doing. Look at what he's done.
And
Do you know
you
what?
think-
When I say this, people ain't going to like it.
Just
or hear
because
it.
that little girl was a
It had to
Pakistani
happen.
little girl.
We needed Keir Starmer.
I don't feel
We needed to see
as
the
fucking
weaponisation of the
angry
judiciary. We
as
needed
I
to
do
see
when
the
it's a little
oppression of the
English
working
girl.
class. We
I'm
needed to
fucking
see the
just as
attack
angry.
on British people who dared to voice their concerns.
And
we
she,
needed to see Lucy Conway
the likes of
imprisoned.
her, could
I
have
had
got
to be
stop
imprisoned
that
in the way I was for that film for the public to see it. Unfortunately,
by
Peter
taking the
Lynch was
child
murdered in prison.
away.
He's dead. Yeah. All of these things,
With her
unfortunately,
being a
the fact
Muslim
people may
lady,
not
she
want to
had
hear
the
it.
power to be
These
able
are
to
all
step in a
things
bit
that
more
had to
than
happen
any other English
in
person.
order to bring the public to the position they're now
Any
in.
English person.
Meanwhile, even the BBC reports there is now a total
Yeah, mate,
revolt
and
within
she
our
did it.
governing party,
And
which,
that's what
trust
is not
me,
brought up
is
about
going to
her
see
yet.
the country
Well,
move
I am,
even
and
further
I
to the
am.
hard left.
That's the first thing I'm bringing up about her now. I want to know why she has not done her job for that little girl. And for the bins in Birmingham. Right, and that at the end of the day, some parts of the English parts and some parts of the Muslim community parts. And she's a Muslim community person. So, to me, she ain't doing a fucking job for no Muslims. Well, what is she doing? You tell me, man. And that's not nothing to do with colour or race. I am saying, why is she not doing her job for her actual own people? For the Muslim community? Because maybe she was doing her job, that little girl would still be here, and the bins in Birmingham might be collected, and some of these eradicated Muslims that are doing what they're doing, maybe they wouldn't be doing so much shit that they are doing if she was doing her job.
I would have to say the mood in Parliament today amongst Labour MPs was absolutely funereal.
In the first place.
I had loyalists coming up to me saying
She's not
it's
for
now
no one,
when,
she's full
not if
for her
Keir
fucking
Starmer
self.
goes. They're saying he can't connect. A lot of people wondering whether he can last through the summer of 2026. And a lot of resentment over
okay,
the way
yeah,
that he's
I'm not saying she doesn't
But when it gets
obviously
on
advocate
Sky
Muslims
News,
more than the English people.
try
Fair
to
enough.
explain
I'm not,
and describe the
whatever.
Labour hard left as what they
I'm
really
just
are.
speaking facts like
Look
you're
what
saying.
happened.
I don't know about that, but I'm staying on her subject. I wish you wouldn't really put all these different subjects together like this. I wish sometime when they do the news sometime, maybe they do actually, I just want that one subject about her, about that person. I don't want like different news.
Unbelievable. But what I find most shameful that the
Because
red alarm button
they're
about
all
what
in
the
it together,
UK is
mate.
now facing outside of independent channels like this one
I'm
is
calling
being
that out.
pressed by Americans who
I
watch with
I'm
horror
calling it out on her because
as
at the end of
they
the day,
think
who the
about
fuck
the
does she
fact
think
that
she
they
is?
may have suffered the same fate if Kamala Harris had
Come and
defeated
call
Donald
any
Trump.
white person,
Tucker Carlson
or whatever, when
has now
she
warned
is a
Piers
Muslim person
Morgan
not doing her own
that
job
our white population is
for the
being
Muslim community
purposely
in the fucking first place.
humiliated as
She
part
ain't even
of a
doing her
planned
job properly for the
wipeout.
Muslim community.
You humiliate and
No mind the
degrade the
English
indigenous
community of Britain
population
or
of the British
whatever.
Isles, the white population.
She
I
hasn't
mean, that's
done
the
her
whole
job
point.
correctly for
And
the Muslim
are they really going to
community.
do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go
I'm
back to
not
their countries of origin.
advocating
Millions
for
of
them to
people.
do it
And you
down
need to do
there.
it
I'm
really
not.
soon.
I'm
And
just speaking
are they
as a
actually
fact.
willing
It's
to
a
do
fact.
that? I
The
don't
fact is
know,
the
but
fact.
these are existential questions
Like
that
Siddiq
we
Khan.
have
He
been
ain't giving
browbeat
she's
into
up his
ignoring
ass.
for decades. But the question is like,
Excuse
is
me, a
Ireland
young Asian man got
Ireland?
stabbed here in
If it's
Bury
majority
a couple of
non-Irish,
days, a couple
shut
of
up,
weeks
they're
ago.
Irish. No, they're actually not Irish.
There was one little
Same
thing
with
on
the
the news
UK,
and
same
that's
with
it. You know why?
with England,
Because it was
Scotland,
another
Wales,
Asian
like,
person
it's
or a
all
migrant
changing
person or
so
something like
fast.
that
Nothing
that
like this
stabbed
has
this
ever
person.
happened in all of history.
So it
Except
doesn't
when, say, the
matter.
Mongols swept across
Doesn't
the steppe and
count
raped
because another
everybody. Like, that was
Asian
true demographic
person
change
or
on this scale.
English Asian person or
And so few
I
people
don't know what it was
are
about.
prepared to talk like that.
Whatever it is,
here,
it's
but
because
we
someone
need
the
to.
same
So kudos to
race
Nick Dixon,
stabbed him. It
who
doesn't
wrote, white
count.
people are not just the least racist, they're the
It
only
fucking
group
does.
that's ever even attempted not being racist. Unfortunately, no one else joined in. So now we're just being
But I'm not
slaughtered
racist, and I
literally
know
and
that.
figuratively.
And I don't care
And of
what they say.
course, this is backed by almost every Western government. And Tucker Carlson is convinced that that is part of a wider
I am
plan.
saying what is true. It's
But
true.
even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every
nobody
white
wants to
country
speak
around
about
the world. I would
this.
say the
You
West,
know,
but
since
Australia and New Zealand
since,
also. So
yeah,
like,
since
what?
I watched about that little Asian girl that got murdered by her dad here in England, actually, there's not been very much about that, really. There's not been anything about it. That's like gone in the bin and been hidden up like the rest of it. Like this young lady that's been stabbed, Ukrainian ladies. They only want to, it's like, they only want to bring something up and out when it's convenient for them what. Doesn't matter what colour and race and religion or whatever. If you're not in their bastard circle, this is what people don't get. This is what people need to really learn. People need to really learn this one. Doesn't matter what colour, race, religion. Doesn't matter if there's another white person stood here and I'm a white person. Do you think that white person is going to treat me any nicely? Probably not. Yeah? Do you think maybe if there was a black person stood there, that a black person would treat me any nicely? Probably not. Do you get me? It doesn't matter what colour and race and religion or where you're from. The way I see this, if you're not in their bastard circle, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care if you're from there or there. And these radicalised people, these so-called really radicalised ones, have you noticed when they do hardcore crime, if they're Muslim, black, white, whatever, even the fucking white people, you know, like in my baby, save or porn shit, you're pedo, yeah? Well, don't you think that's a bit hardcore crime? Oh, but because he was in their circle, oh, we didn't get fuck all. If it's a Muslim man commits down now, a black man does the same. Let's just say there's 3 people, right? Let's just say there's a white man, an Asian man, and a black man. Yeah? And all 3 people commit the same crime. But all 3 people ain't in their circle, so they're all getting fucking locked up. They're all getting sentenced properly. Right? Let's turn it back around. If all 3 people are in their circle, all 3 people are going to get let off. No matter what colour and race they fucking really are. So unless you're in their circles, it doesn't really matter. Your colour, race, religion, they don't give a fuck. No, they don't care.
Is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are. And that's real. And no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School. And look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a... or India or Malaysia or Senegal. It doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School. And look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? Population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist. I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
You can just see Piers Morgan's head exploding in real time.
Yeah, why is it happening in China?
But Tucker is right. And he's not the only one raising the alarm. Donald Trump's most loyal and long-time political ally, Steve Bannon, now says England is facing imminent civil war, and even Nigel Farage and Reform UK may not be able to stop it.
But we'll go at war on each other and they cause corona.
There's some deep undercurrents right now. This raising this spontaneous populist move of putting up the English flag, right? The cross of St. George, and putting up the Union Jack, and then having taken down by authorities. There's something there. I think you guys, unless there's a big course correction, I think England is heading towards a civil war. Unless there's a big course, and I'm not even sure, as highly as I think of Nigel Farage and what he's done with the Reform Party, I'm not so sure that the cavalry can arrive soon enough to avoid some quite unpleasantness in England.
And it's not a surprise, is it, when you look at the statistics, as Matt Goodwin pointed out, in each of the past 3 years, more people migrated to Britain than to America, a country that is 40 times larger by area than the UK and has almost 5 times the population. And even though Bannon is clearly to the right of Farage, he is heartened by the shifting Overton window in Britain when it comes to mass deportations.
Exactly, mate. We're tiny.
Nigel's definitely coming.
We are a tiny little
island. As I think other people are coming away in
else.
France and Germany. People are coming to the conclusion, and eventually in Italy. You had these populations that got here through all these different means, and they're not assimilating, and also it's a massive financial burden. It just can't stay. Plus, it's such a detriment to your own population. So
the UK is now like we are now Palestine.
We were considered the most radical people in the world. Remember, we were bringing it up at a time.
Well, we are now classified as in the Jurassic Park, as I've been saying.
Think about that, 10 to 20 million people.
We are now classified, all of Europe and England, as being in the Jurassic Park.
It's I think the world's coming our way because the world's seeing the problems. I think Nigel is
the dinosaurs
coming to the
out.
realization that more dramatic. This is what
Right
I'm saying.
round southern France and Germany.
If you listen to the content of Nigel's talks,
Don't need to listen
even
to that
if you
crap.
see the
Listen to
timbre
what
of his
I'm
voice,
saying.
he's giving warnings to people. I just hope
He's giving
people
nothing.
understand that
what I'm
Nigel
saying. The
Farage,
warning
who's
is we're in the
pretty
Jurassic
much a
Park.
man of the central right, is actually warning you
There's
that
the
something
warning.
has to happen here.
Dinosaurs are coming for
And
us.
the institutions of England are not even, forget going there, they're not even stopping the problem right now.
No.
Honestly, we need to be listening to Steve Bannon. I need you to listen to Steve Bannon, who says that the risk of constantly ignoring the people, which is absolutely what has happened in the United Kingdom over the past 60 years when it comes to immigration, is actually putting democracy itself in peril.
Now, you're warning
win any
that
war.
if things don't change in Britain and other places, democracy will not be enough. The democratic ballot will not be enough. What do you mean by that?
I think
what
people,
kind of revolution are we
I
talking
think
about?
people, if they see elections that don't have impact, thank God here, this is why the come from behind, out of nowhere victory of Trump in 24 and kind of sweeping everywhere is really has given us the leverage to try to do these types of things. And people, the MAGA movement, and even the black men, the African American men, the black men, and the Hispanics that voted for us are seeing that we're taking action, particularly securing the border. You know, think about it. A year ago this time, Biden's telling you the border can't be sealed. It's impossible. You can't do it. We've tried everything. Trump did it in 60 days. So it's people are seeing the impact of where elections have consequences, and those consequences are what I voted for. I think in England's the exact opposite. I think they're actually questioning because your institutions are so powerful in England, right? The non-directly
not
political
anymore.
institutions are so powerful. They're not changing at all, particularly your media. In fact, you're going the
Exactly.
opposite direction on this.
And he is so right, because our raging media is silent, even on our free speech being smashed, which the White House has just revealed was raised by President Trump in those talks with Slippery Summer at Turnberry in July. They're also ignoring the truth about how dangerous our new Home Secretary,
It really is.
Shabana Mahmood, who clearly hates our flag and the native population, really is.
Not
Watch.
just that, mate. She didn't do a job for this little Pakistani girl
the
either.
English flag, most of the time,
She didn't do a
their
job for her
mindfulness will be the
little
EDM,
flag.
and they are white, they are male, and they're bad people, and they want to divide our community.
As Nadine Dorries, the new Reform UK recruit, put it, the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom openly sneering at the English flag. If you are proud of your country, if you dare to fly St George, you are branded a bad person. Labour hates patriotism.
Not for fucking England.
Yet we are
not
still
for
being asked to believe that Shabana Mahmood is the woman to protect our homeland.
Her own either, mate. She's another
Just days
Sadiq
ago,
Khan.
I was appointed
Just a
Home
woman.
Secretary with one clear
You basically
priority:
are just a Sadiq
tackling
Khan.
illegal
I
migration.
Sadiq
The
Khan.
government has already laid the foundation.
It's another Sadiq
We have
Khan.
lifted removals to
All over
35,000
again.
people and struck a historic agreement with France.
Shut up, silly
But the
woman.
challenge that we face is considerable, and we must go
Yeah.
further. That's why I have hosted our Five Eyes allies.
How about
America,
saving your own little
Australia,
children? How
Canada,
about
and
would you
New
save that
Zealand.
little girl's life,
We have
love?
discussed the shared
How about that would have been
challenges
going
we
further,
face
wouldn't it,
from
for you?
enemies who have no respect for our borders.
No, you
and
have
we
no
have
respect
agreed
for nothing.
coordinated action to enforce security and
You don't
protect
even
our
care
citizens,
about the people.
including
Your Muslim
tougher
fellow
sanctions
people that live
on
in
countries who
Birmingham with
refuse
all
to
the
take
fucking
back
bins
their own citizens
and the rats.
who are living here unlawfully.
Do you
I
care
know
about your
that the
fellow
British public
Muslim
expects
young
us to
little
bring order
child
and control back to
that
our
were being
immigration
fucking
system.
murdered and
And as
tortured
Home
by her
Secretary,
parents,
I
love,
will
did
do
you?
whatever it takes to
And
secure our
that, you
But
know,
as one of her predecessors, Suella Braverman, argued, we've heard
how
that
dare
one
she
before,
fucking think she
and
can
it
call
didn't
anybody else?
end very
Just
well.
days ago, I was appointed Home Secretary.
Yeah. Don't what
But the
for?
deranged left in this
She's
country
just another Sadiq
are in a
Khan.
parallel universe.
It's just
Liberal
Sadiq Khan all
Democrats
over again because
are
he's going
actually
out.
suggesting
Because
the public service
everybody's had
broadcaster should ignore Nigel Farage and Reform UK, despite being
from
the
his,
most popular
from
party in the country.
Asian, the Muslims
As
themselves,
ever,
to
their
fucking anybody
answer
else.
is more
I've had enough of
censorship
them.
and more cancellation. As my friend Colin Brazier put it, the vast majority of Reform voters long ago abandoned
Well,
the
you have
BBC
to-
in disgust at the corporation's inability to hide its spite for Nigel Farage. This outrage would be less faux if you could walk into a
You have
BBC
to know
newsroom and
Muslim
find it
fellow
full of
people,
Reform voters
how many
rather than
people
Lib
like
Dem
Sadiq
supporters. But yet still, the smears come, they never
You'll
learn.
probably find
With John McDonnell,
that a lot of them
Labour's
don't
former
even
Shadow
like him.
Chancellor,
Don't
now
even know who he
comparing
fucking
Nigel
really
Farage
is.
to Hitler and describing Reform as a proto-fascist organisation. But here's the reality. And you've got to really tap in to Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon here.
I like to
Those
Carlson,
smears
not
don't
watching
work
for a long
anymore.
time.
We know the real extremists are the hard left who right now up and down this country are trying to pull down our beautiful flags.
If you're getting rid of those, I'll have them. Why? It's not racist. Oh, I don't think it is. Yeah, just... No, I don't think people... No, I don't think people actually mean like that, to be fair. No. From what I've seen, I don't think that's what people mean. I think people are just getting... Yeah, people do care, but you've got to see it. You've got to see it from everybody's point of view. You've got to see it from everybody's point of view, not just one person. But what I will say is, people online. I don't want to see it, so I'm going to do something about it. It's okay. Yeah, but.
And we know that the real lawlessness on the streets is ignored by the police every single day if you happen to be someone who isn't on the hard left. Like an ice cream attack in London on the pro-women's rights American activist Billboard
You're off the
Chris,
meeting.
who said the Met Police refused
You
to
watching
do
the cookie?
anything as he said, to sum up, just another day telling the truth in a world gone mad. Watch what happened to him.
Well, the Palestinians will throw them off the rooftops if they identify as trans. Yeah, he's not engaging.
No, I'm pretty good at very good at
Police! Hey, police! Assault!
Oh yeah.
I'm just assaulted. Excuse me. I was just assaulted. I'd like this person arrested. The person slammed ice cream on my head. We have it on video. Are you gonna do anything?
Nope.
No, but it's on video.
Because he's a fucking woker.
I'd like the person arrested before they walk away. Unfortunately, you can't do anything right now. I have the video right here. You can look at it in 3 seconds.
No, we
Would you
can't.
like to look at the video and then go get the person?
Yeah, fucking faggot.
Yes. But the
Where do we
person's
get
walking
these
away.
police officers from?
You don't have much time. The person's walking away.
No, there's
You
not.
can look at the video in 3 seconds and go get them.
Fuck off,
Yeah,
mate.
you're just gonna do nothing
Shut
about
up.
it. You're gonna do nothing until they're
Ain't it,
gone.
mate?
Typical Metropolitan Police.
Police.
Doing
How
nothing
you
about the
go?
violent crime.
Pedo.
Welcome to
He's a
Shabnam
fucking
Mahmood's
pedo.
United
Yeah,
Kingdom.
another city.
Now,
Can.
the superstar
Another city can.
Restore
Got to replace
Britain's
it
Charlie
can,
Down
haven't they?
back with me.
Great.
Father Calvin, Steve Bannon says
Great.
it might even be too late
And
for
I was
Reform
giving her a
UK
chance.
and Nigel Farage to stop a new English civil war.
No. Yeah,
Is
they
that
won't be- They won't
hyperbole
do it, mate, anyway.
or a real fear?
Nigel Farage
No,
ain't
it's
gonna
very
do
guilty.
his
I've been
shit.
saying this for a while. I think this is going to end in one of a very few ways.
I'm
One of them
very
is
shocked.
civil unrest, the other
I'm
is civil
very
war. It depends
shocked,
how
Father
much
Calvin.
righteous indignation the
In
British
Jews
people
like
have
her
within them
and Alex.
to fight
I'm very
back
shocked.
against the suppression from the
I'm
establishment,
very
from the metropolitan
shocked.
liberal elite, from the ones who are oppressing the ethnic Britons of our country.
Because I didn't think they
Steve
would
Bannon's
be them
absolutely
type
right.
of people
But in the
to
question
do
of
that
can
to Ben
reform turn
Levine.
things around, who
I'm
knows?
not
You know, I'm
letting
very
that go.
sceptical about
I'm not
reform and Nigel Farage in particular. I'm trying to
He's
speak
in my
less on
seat,
them
Ben
because it's
Levine.
just tiresome.
And I don't care
But it's
what
not
we
even
think.
about them. I think Farage is just another puppet.
Yeah.
I've been tweeting
Yeah,
this
exactly,
week
mate.
about the
And I'm not
there's
happy
no
with
coincidence
Jews later.
that Sir Paul Marshall
All
is
that,
the one
Alex,
who's
I'm not happy,
backing
mate.
Nigel Farage.
Dan,
And
I'm
it's
sorry,
no
mate, I
coincidence that
know,
Sir Paul
but
Marshall is the major backer of GB
Alex,
News.
isn't that
No
your friend,
coincidence
yeah?
that Nigel Farage's
I've been
competitors are
watching
not
them two
invited
people.
onto GB
That-
News. Also, no
Years
coincidence
later,
that
I've been
GB News has
watching it for a
invested
very
massive
long
amounts of
time
money
now.
in the US, even though they're wasting money in the UK.
And
It's not
listening
even
to a
about
lot,
business.
she's
Expanding to the US so they can get endorsements for Nigel
Because
Farage
most of the time
from
I
the
think
US
she's talking
administration.
sense.
So all of this is lining up to see that there's one billionaire
And I
in
like
Great
that
Britain that's
lady.
looking to be the puppet master of the centre-right of the UK.
I'm
That
not
should
like
be people of
Alex
major
on
concerns.
top,
People have talked about
either.
people like Rupert Murdoch for a long time.
So I
We
can
don't
find out
like
nothing to
when
what?
multi-millionaires
Farage.
and billionaires come into the UK and
People
try to
have-
manipulate
people
us
having
through
nothing
the
to
legacy
watch
media.
to
And so we
do,
should be
mate.
keeping a close eye on what GB News, Unheard, Spectator, all assets of Sir Paul Marshall, and of course he tried to buy the Telegraph too. We should keep an eye out, close eye on what these outlets are saying,
Yeah.
who they're promoting, and who they're
I
not
just don't like
promoting.
just Nigel Farage.
Very good point, and I totally agree
Not
with
that
that.
they're
We
doing
would
what they're
come
doing
to that.
against Ben
Charlie
Levine.
Downs,
Again.
civil
Are they fucking
war,
stupid?
and even
Right,
Steve
there has to be
Bannon
two
says
parties.
the risk
So
that
what is Nigel
democracy
going on
itself
about?
could end
And
up
the two
being
parties
smashed
is either going to be
if the
Labour
people
and
are
Reform,
consistently ignored.
or
Well,
Conservative
my view of
and
this, Dan,
Reform,
is that
or it could
basically
be
if we don't
Advance
get a
and
patriotic
Reform.
government in 2029,
Thank you. Yeah, well, Advance
then
could
political
take
solutions,
in
democratic
the next
solutions are going to look
people
less
to
and
be
less
the
viable.
Labour and the
If for no other reason
Conservatives.
than the demographic reality of the country will be such
And we have to
that
have two parties.
the non-British
You can't
voting
just
bloc
have
will be
one.
so large that we may be staring down the barrel.
And then there's never
of
going to be another
something
vote
like
ever
an
again.
Islamist
So we have to
government
be
entering
two
power
parties.
in 2034 or 2039.
And
If you look at the
hopefully that won't be
projections
fucking
of the demographic of
Labour
certain parts of this country,
or fucking
and
Conservatives.
the places in which
So,
Gaza
I don't
independent
know
candidates
what
came second to, for example,
they're
the Labour
going on
Party
about with
in the
Ben
general election
Levine.
last year. It's a very widespread phenomenon, and it's only going to get more intense and worse
Exactly, mate. I
as
mean,
time goes on,
and
because
she's
mass
just
immigration,
another
legal
city.
and
It
illegal,
counts. She's a
is still
shame
ongoing.
on her own
These
community, mate.
people who come from other
I
parts of the
found
world
some
who are
things she
not
should be
ethnically
ashamed
British
of.
tends to reproduce at a higher rate than Indigenous British people do. So we're looking at a situation. I mean, Matt Goodwin put out a paper recently where he said in 2067, I believe, the white British will be a minority in this country. But it will be long before then that democratic means of resolving our plight as a nation become unviable. So that's why I think it's so important that the right, the political right in Britain, get its act together.
Because the little girl's not
English right now, Dan.
No.
I look at the Conservative Party and Reform, and I don't see in either of those a viable party of government. I don't see a Prime Minister, certainly not a Kenny Baker, and I think Nigel Farage, he's choosing to spend his time and resources on glitz and glamour, where actually the country is crying out for substance and for leadership, not kind of slot populism.
That little girl from a Muslim community. That's me.
It was interesting hearing Steve Bannon in other parts of Stephen Edgington's interview effectively say Farage is on the centre-right. And even though he's friends with Farage, the clear read between the lines, my takeaway from that interview is that Bannon thinks Farage is going in the right direction, but he's certainly not anywhere near close to where he needs to be. But Father Calvin, I want to come to the Tucker Carlson comments because I was very struck by one of your posts on X this afternoon. So let me just read it and then I can get you to go into a bit more detail because this is very similar to what Tucker was saying. You say something has to be done about anti-white racism.
And then if she were doing her job
liberals in politics and legacy media seem to hate white girls in particular from covering up Pakistani Muslim rape gangs in Britain to the awful response to Erin Azaritska's murder in Charlotte, which has stunned and horrified the world.
But at the end of the day,
and
she
Tucker Carlson went even one step further, Father Calvin, by suggesting this is now a plot by our globalist leaders to humiliate the native white population of the UK. What did you make of that?
Maybe some of these things with the Muslim
I think his words were very strong. I can't speak to a plot. We can certainly see a lot of coincidences happening. What are the two major issues in Great Britain right now? Well, the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs is one of them. The mass migration certainly is a cause of that issue. And the other is the two-tier policing.
Can't blame anyone else.
Saying ordinary things, whereas other people are not. In fact, some of the grooming gang perpetrators are being let out early while people are being arrested for calling them out on social media. And so what does the government do? Well, it puts a package.
Carlson went even one step further, Father Calvin, by suggesting this is now a plot by our globalist leaders to humiliate the native white population.
Not just to humiliate, put us in our body bags.
I think his words were very strong. I can't speak to a plot, but we can certainly see a lot of coincidences happening. What are the two major issues in Great Britain right now? Well, the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs is one of them. The mass migration certainly is a cause of that issue. And the other is the two-tier policing, in that white Britons are being arrested for saying ordinary things, whereas other people are not. In fact, some of the grooming gang perpetrators are being let out early while people are being arrested for calling them out on social media. And so what does the government do? It puts a Pakistani Muslim in the Home Office responsible for immigration and policing. So whilst immigration and policing are two of our major concerns, an enemy of both of those things is put into the office responsible for them. They are mocking us. It's no longer just, these can't be coincidences. Something else is going on. I can't, as like Tucker Carlson, I can't speak to who or what, but we can certainly see there is a movement against the British people, against the English people, white people. Something else is going on. I can't, as like Tucker Carlson, I can't speak to who.
Yeah, something is going on.
Certainly is a cause of that issue. And the other is the two-tier policing, in that white Britons are being arrested for saying ordinary things, whereas other people are not. In fact, some of the grooming gang perpetrators are being let out early while people are being arrested for calling them out on social media. And so what does the government do? Well, it puts a Pakistani Muslim in the Home Office responsible for immigration and policing. So whilst immigration and policing are two of our major concerns, an enemy of both of those things is put into the office responsible for them. It's
about that
beyond
little
mocking
Pakistani
us.
girl that got
It's no
murdered,
longer
didn't she?
just, these can't be coincidences. Something else is going on. I can't, as like Tucker Carlson, I can't speak to who or what, but we can certainly see there is a movement against the British people, against the English people. White people are being oppressed, being persecuted in a predominantly white country. That is not a good thing.
Charlie Downs, do you want to comment on that?
I think this is so
girl got
crucial
murdered
because
by her own father.
it is an interesting thing that if you were to reveal or discover the fact that
they don't really care.
the demographic upheaval that Britain has undergone was in fact by design, and that it was in fact the intention of our leaders to demographically replace and transform areas of this country, like for example in London, in places like Dagenham, for instance, that have like sub 30% white British people living there now, where it was 95+% like 30 years ago. If that was by design, that is an ethnic cleansing. That is essentially tantamount to genocide, and it's certainly on the path to it. I think if you look across the rest of the culture and you look at what the entertainment industry promotes, if you look at what the education system promotes, if you wanted to destroy a people, if you wanted to destroy a nation, what would you do? Well, you would make abortion and assisted suicide readily accessible. You would flood the market with pornography and entertainment products that incentivize lifestyles that are degenerate and destructive and which do not yield positive outcomes for the people and the people around them. You would flood the country with people from cultures very different to our own, who are frequently more violent, more criminal than those who live here already.
The rest of the people.
And you would cripple their economy and their energy infrastructure by implementing these nonsensical policies like net zero, for example, and also by printing inordinate sums of money over the last few years. All of these things, if there is intention behind them, then what we're looking at is essentially a genocidal force at play. Now, I'm not saying that is the case. I don't think there's enough evidence to suggest that this is all by design with the express purpose of wiping out the indigenous British population. But the revealed purpose of this system does appear to be that, right? And so we have to be real about what it is we're dealing with, because platitudes of British values and kind of 2015 Tory Cameronite talking points about integration and assimilation, we are well past that at this point. I've been speaking this week about how we have to free ourselves of these myths, these political myths that have prevented the British people from actually doing anything about their situation. These fears that we have about the labels that we're going to be called, and these the ideologies that we're sold as remedies to this situation. All of it is nonsense, and all of it is designed, I think, to contain the radical dissident energy that is sweeping across this country. I think that that's manifesting itself in reform, but it's also manifesting itself in the support for Tommy Robinson, of course, as well as the Flag, Raise the Colours campaign. There is this nascent, authentically patriotic, essentially nationalist movement that is brewing in this country that I think doesn't currently have a name or a leader, but which is certainly
coming.
And
Totally agree.
To address, it's going to get bigger.
It's coming, and I think we may see the start of it at the Uniting the Kingdom rally on Saturday. Father Calvin, I've got to ask you about Shabnam Mahmood, though, because we're told she's the solution. The MSM are actually trying to pretend this is some hardliner who wants to protect our borders. Have they not listened to everything that this woman has told us?
They've never listened to any of it. No, neither have Alex and flipping them Jews later.
Completely driven by her Islamic faith.
They don't know shit.
It's funny, isn't it, seeing that video of her and Sadiq Khan in Pakistan showing their true loyalties to Pakistan over Great Britain, and the two of the most powerful people in the United Kingdom right now. It's a great shame that we repealed the Test Act, which meant that everyone who wanted to stand for office in Great Britain had to be a member of the Church of England. It made sense to, because as Charlie was
and then she's saying,
about
the father and human rights.
This has all been a Tony Blair and David Cameron
He's got no human rights. He killed his little girl.
Tolerance of others and
know,
respect
killed
of the
her, he abused
law.
her, he battered her,
to be good, subservient subjects of the establishment.
Shame on her!
British values, English values, have always been Christian values since 1927, since Rex Anglo-War, since the country of England was founded, uniting the different regions together under Christ. And so unless we refine our faith, unless we return to church, unless we return to prayer, we'll continue to see the implosion of the island of Great Britain, unfortunately. And yes, there are some political solutions, there are some things we need to do. And putting people like Shabnam in office, Mahmoud, of course, another word for Mohammed, there should be no person with the name Mohammed in any office
I don't
in England
care.
because Mohammedan values are directly
Let's put
opposed
this one
to
under
Christian
the boat
values.
for them.
It is a demonic lie opposed
Yeah,
to an
the
objective
demonic
truth.
lies.
And
I
we used to
didn't say that
understand
little
these things. We
Pakistani
used to
girl. This
understand the
ain't
difference
none of
between good
them.
and evil. We used
Both
to
of
understand that
them
our
are
culture is
evil, mate.
superior,
They ain't
that our
saved that
values are
Pakistani
superior.
little girl.
And that's not pride, that's us wanting
Yeah,
to spread
my love,
victory,
how's that
wanting to
pride,
spread
you little
unity,
bitch?
wanting to spread goodness. That's what the British Empire was all about, for goodness sake. And somehow we've been
What about that
convinced to
little
be
English
guilty
Pakistani
of all of
girl
these good things, to be guilty
that
of our
got battered
past,
by our
and to
dad?
destroy ourselves in the process. This anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-English,
Yeah, but
anti-British
maybe that
sentiment that is
doesn't
very
anti-British
encapsulated
girl,
in
yeah.
this Labour government.
It
Isn't
is
it? Well,
all
it's not just
that,
Labour, it's
yeah.
also the Conservatives. But it's just
But it's
the
also
epitome of where we've come, and we need to throw all that away, embrace
yeah,
good old-fashioned
let me
Christianity,
say
and
you to
embrace
you
the
now.
British
You see
Empire
that
and all
little girl
things
there,
that
that
were
would have
good,
been that other
and
little girl.
rebuild the empire.
Well, it could have been.
Very well put. Very
That
well
could have been that other
put.
little girl.
By
and
the
she could be
way,
still sat
we
here
are
now.
just getting some breaking royal
If Sadiq
news.
Khan, she's
Prince
doing a
Harry
fucking
has
job
just arrived at Clarence
for the
House
Muslim
for what is
community in
believed
the
to be a
fucking first
face-to-face
place.
meeting with
Doing a
Charles.
job, and they
Cannot
were doing
believe
their
this.
jobs correctly for the
Unfortunately,
Muslim
we do have
community
a
in the
week
first
on
place.
it,
Half of this shit
and I
might be going
understand
on.
why Prince William will be furious about this, but we will bring you details on that meeting and get
And
reaction
surely
from the superstar panel later in the show.
Sadiq Khan should
The
have won
civil
that
war in the right-wing media
from his own
space
people.
is growing by the day, with Ben Habib accusing
Yeah.
Julia Hartley-Brewer, Alex Phillips, and Talk TV
Yeah, I know, I've watched this bit.
of
but I'm
purposefully
fucking
banning him
fuming.
after his Advance UK political party, or what is soon to be a
Fuming.
political party, received significant
Do you want
backing
that juice later? I never
from
watched it
Elon
again.
Musk and Tommy Robinson.
Well, Ben Labib, I will never,
Viewers are
ever,
furious about
I'm not
this
Alex,
and
I know
have
I'm
even
Alex.
ambushed one of Talk's presenters live on air. But
I've
before I
recorded
show you
Alex
this,
a
let
few
me
times
get to this
saying
exchange
good
between
things,
Hartley Brewer and
especially
Habib.
about the grooming gangs and
Brewer
Sadiq
wrote,
Khan and
"Stop
stuff.
being ridiculous, Ben Habib. No one is in anyone's
I do
pocket
like
and no
him for
one
that.
has cancelled you. Get a grip." But
What?
Ben bought the receipts, writing, "Julia, you and I exchanged private texts and you know Talk banned me. I
Yeah.
evidenced it to you.
They have.
I suggest a degree
Don't
of
start
internal
bullshitting.
introspection before leaping onto the airwaves."
Yeah, because
And
he's
World
not
Wide
been on
Wolf
there.
has a theory on this.
Well, I'll
He
tell you
wrote,
what.
"I know for a
If
cast
they have not
iron
banned
fact
Ben
that
Labib, and I'm a
journalists,"
big
and he's put
supporter of
journalists in
GB
inverted
News.
commas at GB News and Talk TV,
I am,
as well as
Patrick, in
mainstream
that I'm
print
quite
like
a
the
big
Telegraph and
supporter of
Spectator,
that.
are worried
And
that
live TV
criticising
with
reform
Phil
and giving
and
airtime to
Alex
their
and that.
rivals like Ben
I've
and
watched
Rupert
that
will
Alex
lead
a
to their
lot.
access
I
being
like
cut
that lady.
and therefore risk their jobs.
And you.
Farage is a big media draw. Getting interviews with
Now,
him generated eyeballs, which
I
generated ad
understand.
revenue, which keeps you in a job. It's the
No,
prisoner's dilemma.
I understand you, but do them stupid people, excuse me, Jew Slater, and Alex, Mrs. think they know it fucking all, when they know fuck all, spiders on the wall. You think you know it fucking all, but really you know fuck all, because the war you've just both jumped on has just been plastered and now you're both stuck, you silly little bastards. Right. Well, go on then. If GB News and that haven't took Ben Labib off air, why have I not seen Ben Labib and Rupert Lowe on GB News anywhere? And I watch YouTube a lot. I watch GB News and Talk TV a lot. I like Mike, I like me Jeremy Kyle, I like me Alex, I like a couple on, I like me Patrick. I used to like Camilla, but I've realised she's another witch gone wrong as well. I won't be watching her ever again. And now I will not be watching June Slater. I'm sorry, June Slater. Right? And I've been a good watcher of you. And Alex. Right? And I can kind of get what you mean about reform. But how dare you be so selfish, yo? How both dare you be so selfish? Right, well, you might as well put it up your ass. Stop being so fucking up his ass, Nigel Farage's ass, and anybody else's ass. Get from being brainwashed by it all. Because I'm not voting for any party yet. The party I've put together is Ben Labib, Rupert Lowe and Tommy Robinson. And at the end of the day, right, stupid June Slater and that Alex Phillips, right, don't fucking come and tell me. We'll come and have an argument there because I'll give you one. Come and tell me why you're both that bothered when there needs to be two parties in the government parties. So what you, June Slater and Alex Phillips, would rather have reform always and battling with fucking Labour. So you would rather have Labour still in the background eventually. Yeah? 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 Would you now, both of them? Are they fucking stupid? I thought they've got more fucking brains. I thought they knew politically and everything, knew all of that. Shows you how much they don't really know. Because tell you something, June Slater, and fucking Alex Phillips, don't you realise we need two opposition parties? Which has to be reform and a new party, another party. So unless you want that opposite party to be Conservatives, which maybe, that could be a maybe, but it will not be Conservatives, and you fucking both well know that. The opposite party then will be Labour to reform all the fucking time. All the time it'll be reform and Labour then, just like Conservatives and Labour. So are they fucking stupid or what? Because by attacking Ben Labib and the Advanced Party, you're so stupid, both of them. Get a life, get a grip. Because we need two parties and we don't want it. You telling me you want it to be fucking Labour? Because I fucking don't. I want Labour far gone with Conservatives far gone, long and buried. And we don't even want to hear about them names ever again after this. And they're not saying it ain't going to be reform, you stupid women. Ben Labib and that are getting a party up so that reform have got another party is in opposition. So when reform take over, we have to have two parties. You don't have one, June. Yeah, I thought you know your MP shit and all of this, woman. She don't know much, does she? That's why I've not seen her on air. Well, she might as well go off there, because I'm not listening to that. You're bullying Ben Labib? The fuck do you think you both are, man? No. And what's up with you? It's a bit of stiff competition, man. Get to grip. Because otherwise, people like you've been blabbering on that fucking Alex and her, telling us all to vote for reform. With people like you, they're fucking the country up and everybody's going to be stuck with Labour. Because of you two. Get a grip. We want Labour out, dead and buried. We don't ever want to talk about Labour ever again. The new opposition party to reform is going to be Advanced UK. What's wrong with that? They need to go and get a grip, them two women. I'm fucking fuming. I'm fuming. I'm one of the biggest supporters. I watch it all the time and I'm just no.
It's the prisoner's dilemma. Act with integrity and you will likely be screwed over, so your best bet becomes playing the game and keeping your access. Ben has created a political party that got to 30,000 members in record time, but none of the right-wing media...
And they should not be going against Ben Labib like that. Or Tommy Robinson. Any of them. They should be on Tommy Robson's side and they should be on Ben LaBeef's side. This is about reuniting the country together. Well, they're obviously not on the side of uniting it, are they? They're on their own fucking sides.
Report on it. Why? They're gambling that reform will prevail and they'd rather have access to the king at the cost of their integrity than be watching from the sidelines with their integrity intact. But there's also been a lot of nastiness, and this is what I don't like, the arrogance from Reform UK.
Yeah.
Ben Habib was your deputy leader through the darkest
and he's a good
times,
man.
before all of the latecomers from the Tory party.
And Ben Habib is the
so
best one.
To mock him in this way,
You fucking think they are.
Lizards have
With
ordered this
Rupert
ban on
Love.
Ben. It's all part of a massive conspiracy.
Rupert Love, Ben Habib.
People who faked the moon landing.
Alex.
With Julia responding.
And Julia.
I think that's below them.
No, they could get off air, mate. They could go off air for that.
They want unity on the right. They want total supremacy.
Again, mate. I'm sorry.
But what is great is that the people are angry.
Yeah,
and the people decided to call out Talk Radio live on air during a conversation with my friend Ian Collins, who I saw earlier this week at James Wales funeral. Very good guy. But I will respond to what Ian Collins said.